Welcome to another episode of Eat Smoke Drink. Ha! Welcome to another episode of Eat Smoke Drink, and welcome. Today I am reviewing something extremely novelty and extremely exciting. I'll tell you what it is. You might have, look, everyone's heard of Ardbeg, or some people say Ardbeg, which is actually not the case. Ardbeg. So Ardbeg, quintessential islay. They've made a resurgence into the scene like a bunch of pirates. Jack Sparrow himself after some tumultuous history, and they've made a distinctly islay whiskey that now everyone can rely on. You know, the Ardbeg flavor. That Ardbeg flavor, I always hear it, the Ardbeg flavor. Well, look, most of the Ardbegs you get in the green bottles, distillery bottlings, are good, sure, but they're nothing compared to something like this. This is quite a rare treat. 242 bottles. This was released quite a while ago, actually. Doesn't say when it was. 11 years, 2013, roughly. Released 2013. It doesn't come around very often because it's quite sought after, and people fight for it to the death because they really want to try a single barrel Ardbeg, like myself. In fact, to get this one, I had to pimp and haul myself out to a guy called Craig, spent the night there, whatever it takes. Thanks, Craig, for the sample dram. And this is 11 years old, second fill ex-bourbon cask. You're probably asking, why second fill ex-bourbon? And you learn something every day. I learned this today as well. When people don't want that super bourbon influence, they will first fill it with something else and then second fill it, so they don't have that mega bourbony flavor, and the wood can speak more to the whiskey's flavor than the ex-bourbon that was in there. So you get a different balance of flavors, and that's quite an interesting thing. So there are distilleries out there that focus a lot on first fill sherry for the independent bottles, because they wanted to use the sherry cask for their actual distillery bottlings for their whiskey, because otherwise it's just too heavily sherried, and some whiskeys do better with heavily sherried than others. And so Ardbeg is one that shines with a good bourbon cask. So I'm excited to try this. I'm excited to try this because Ardbeg single barrels is not something you come by often. In fact, in my whole channel so far, I think I've only encountered an independently bottled Ardbeg once or twice in this in the review. And ever in my life, probably three times, 4 times, something like that. So not often at all. So thank you very much, Craig, for letting me stay the night and, you know, making it worth your while, huh? And here you go. By the way, it is 11 years old with 56.1% alcohol. Oh, you'd think that it will smack you in the face just from the first smell of it. I just want this in and around my mouth. I mean, you'd think that it smacks you in the face, but it doesn't. It's relatively subdued and civilized. It really is. It is like a Sean Connery James Bond. You can tell he has rough edges, but, you know, still a gentleman type. Okay, seriously now, what I'm smelling, it's like walking into Kmart or Walmart with going into the shoes and sandals section, that fresh rubber, straight away. Now I'm using this glass here again because I deem this to be quite an intriguing and premium whiskey, so I want to get as much nose out of it as possible. Distant smell of fire. You're on a beach, someone's burning some driftwood, some seaweed, this tinder, maybe they're even cooking some fish that's freshly caught. I'm getting that smell. And then chuck a tar on there. I'm getting bandage glue. I'm getting bike chain grease. And I'm getting boiled mussels with onions. How weird is that? Boiled mussels with onions is what I'm smelling here. I'm getting licorice. I'm getting white pepper, menthol, pine resin, freshly cut wood, freshly cut pine, which is the pine resin, but that wood, specific wood smell. I'm getting a bit of yogurt. like a sickly sweet strawberry yogurt. Let me just refresh my nose. Oh, I love the smell. I'm getting a barbecue in there as well, like literally like a barbecue. Someone's grilled some bacon and sausages in there, and then you're getting that smoke from the grill, that burnt fat. I'm getting some of that as well. Absolutely, absolutely glorious. On the nose, I'm getting parts of quintessential Ardbeg, but more on steroids, you know, like just sharper flavors and just sharper notes. And I think that's a difference of the single barrel versus a, you know, a vatted, like, you know, like a big batch of whiskey that's been blended together to create a single malt. That's really what the difference is. But man, and I keep smelling it. I'm getting licorice and a very earthy smell, like almost a muddy smell. Let's sip. Oh, straight away. Holy crap. That is glorious. It's not actually as robust as you would think it is for the ABV. It's relatively mellowed and quite civilized. But man, oh man, the rubber. I'm getting that bonfire on the beach that I'm talking about. It's times 5. It's times 5. I'm getting some fresh rubber. Like, I'm talking really putting sandals and fresh shoes on your face. That smells like a Vietnamese sweatshop for Nike right there. That is fresh rubber. Oh man. I'm definitely getting a distinct leathery note to it as well. Salinity. It's making my mouth salivate. I can get that salinity in there. It's unmistakable. Burnt wood. Oh wow, it's relatively robust in the notes it's presenting so far. Oh wow, that rubber. I don't think I could ever say I love drinking rubber when I'm drinking that. It's like liquid rubber with salt, bacon, pork sausages, and fennel. I'm getting fennel. Yes, I'm getting fennel. That's probably more the licorice side, but yes, it's like a pork and fennel sausage right here. And it's quite oily as well. My mouth is just coated in this resin. In the best possible way. I mean, the finish is just non-stop. And the second sip is very different to the first sip. The flavor seems to have built on itself, and it's hitting me harder in the face. Oh man. Now I'm getting a bit more of that ginger, candied ginger sweetness and that heat from the ginger. I'm getting some peppermint, like you know, like chewing gum peppermint. Wow, the smoke in the back of the palate, the back of the mouth. That is absolutely glorious. It's like a freshly varnished floor in liquid form as well. Like, that's, I know it sounds really weird, but it is absolutely gorgeous. Oh wow, fourth sip, that pine resin hits me, comes back. I'm getting an unripe unripe kiwi fruit. It is also savory, and in a lot of ways it's savory and meaty. It's drying in the mouth. It is absolutely a stunning dram. It is not for the faint-hearted though. Okay, so if you like your normal Ardbeg, that's great. This will still polarize the shit out of you. This is polarizing as hell because what you know of Ardbeg 10 is nothing. Like it's like Ardbeg 10. I don't even know how to. Okay, let me explain what I think this is. Imagine Michael Vick with a pit bull or a bunch of pit bulls. This is what this is. Okay, Michael Vick with pit bulls. This is what this is. Big cojones on those pit bulls, and they just want to rip each other to shreds. And you get the 10 is basically taking that pit bull and neutering that pit bull, and maybe even muzzling it a little. The muzzle is not your full cage muzzle. It'll still bite you, but it's not going to rip your flesh off. That's the difference. So Michael Vick, standard 10, Michael Vick's after sentencing. So this is a glorious whiskey. Cigar pairing, I would hesitate to recommend any cigars, because whatever you smoke, this will overpower that. This is how robust it is. But I did have a cigar with this, and it's absolutely delicious. So I think something strong like a Dominican, a triple Maduro, something sweet to balance out the strength, or if you like strength for strength, and Dominican, an LFD perhaps. I think most Cubans would drown in this. Even the most robust Cubans that I've had would drown in this. So I'd stick with the New World cigars that'll just wallop you in the face and have a double wallop. Yeah, absolutely delicious. Not for the beginner, because you will get polarized and you'll get confused with the flavor, and you'll go, okay, that's just all smoke, right? I'm not saying that to be condescending. I'm saying that because it will be a waste of a whiskey. So maybe buy it, hold it, have a few more peaters, and then take a dram, neck pour, let it aside, and then keep revisiting it every few weeks, and then you'll really enjoy the journey with this bottle, if you can get it. Thank you very much for joining me today, and it was a pleasure having this whiskey, and something that is very, very hard to find. Once again, thank you, Craig. Love you long time, and until next time, make sure you eat, smoke, drink.